despite the fact that I've been playing The Sims for as long as I can remember, I have never played a legacy challenge in The Sims 4. Decided that I really wanted to go back to my roots with The Sims and start making some more Sims content again, because when I first started making content, I did used to make builds for The Sims. Not the best builder, but I do try, and I really wanted to create a starter house for our legacy challenge. Just to clarify, this is not a starter house as in it's within the 20,000 simoleons. It is a starter house as in it's the house for our first generation of the legacy challenge. I am going to be doing the Barbie legacy challenge, and I'm going to be doing this over on my Twitch channel, so make sure you go and follow along there if you're not already. And I will also possibly be uploading sort of highlights to YouTube as well if you do want to follow along on here. But to get started today, I wanted to show you the house that I built for my first generation of the Legacy Barbie challenge. Let's go! So for this build, I really wanted to go for a sort of 50s vibe. So the first part of the Legacy Challenge, the first generation, is Housewife Barbie. So she's not able to have a job, but she wants the best for her kids. So it kind of really gave me this sort of 1950s kind of vibe. So I wanted to kind of reflect that in the build. The idea is that we'll hopefully use this house for at least a few generations and then maybe build another one. It is 3 bedrooms, and there's also a basement which doesn't have any kind of decorations or anything. I did nothing with the basement. I left it because I don't actually know what I want to use it for yet. I just felt like it would be kind of cool to have that extra space. But you'll see there's a lot of pinks and blues and this kind of mid-century contemporary vibe. The bedrooms as well, the kids' bedrooms, I also didn't decorate because I didn't know what I wanted to do with them. So with the shell, I really just wanted to kind of create a rough outline of where I wanted things to be. The roof honestly took me an embarrassing amount of time. I actually cut a load of stuff out because it was truly embarrassing to show you how awful I am at roofing. Like, it was just a disaster. So I did cut out a lot of me attempting to kind of figure out how to do the roof. I wasn't 100% happy with how it was, but I kind of gave up by that point. Like, I had nearly 2 hours of raw footage to kind of put it into perspective. So I decided to go with like a baby blue kind of outside for the house because I felt like it being pink on the outside was maybe a little bit too much. And I really wanted to kind of create this very like contemporary but like family home, very kind of neat and tidy and orderly. I'm also really bad at landscaping, so please do not judge me. I also wanted to create, because I've literally never done this, I never create like a fake garage and like a converted garage and driveway. I never do stuff like that. So I wanted to do that with like a fake car and stuff. I just thought that'd be really cute. Again, I'm not happy with how the fake garage turned out, but I've never done it before, so I didn't know how to do it, and to be honest, I just did not have the energy to try. But I really just wanted to kind of work on making the outside look cute, but I wasn't too focused on how it ended up. It wasn't really my main goal. But I liked this idea of, you can see here, I was trying to get the spandrel to use across the top, but I gave up, like I couldn't get it to work. Although I have discovered I like the idea of doing something like that as like an open garage. I think that could be really cool. On the inside, I had, like I say, 3 bedrooms, the pink one being the master bedroom. I really wanted that to be a very Barbie coded, very pink, very vibey like that. And then I really liked this idea of this conversation pit, which actually kind of turned into it was a bit of a weird, like it took me a while. I didn't quite get it how I wanted. And then I wanted a study, which would kind of be for Ken, but it was also, again, very pink, very Barbie. And that's kind of the vibe that I was going for throughout this whole build, was just pink girly Barbie, but sort of 50s, 60s housewife kind of core, if that makes sense. So when it comes to bathrooms, I'm very much copy paste with bathrooms when I do bathroom builds. I do not really put that much, I don't want to say not that much effort into them, but realistically, I don't put that much effort into them. I was also realizing at this point that this entryway, this hallway, is absolutely massive. But I did really like the idea of having an accent wall in the study, like a pink one to kind of bring some pink in, but that ended up changing. You'll see later in the video. And again, also with the master bedroom, I really liked the idea of an accent wall, but I just decided it just was too small of a room. It didn't fit. So eventually I did condense down this hallway into a little bit smaller, and just made the entryway a little bit more of an entryway, made the living area a little bit bigger. With the kitchen, I changed my mind. I decided I wanted these really bright glass doors, and then this bathroom I decided was going to be sort of the main family bathroom. So it was kind of the one that I thought, okay, all the kids are pretty much going to use this one, except maybe the heir, who might get their own bathroom, and then you'll see kind of later in the video I kind of figured that out. So I wanted this to be kind of a kind of big cluttered family bathroom, but I really struggled with the toilet. I didn't like it by the doors, it just didn't fit for me. So I kind of created this little privacy screen, which I still wasn't super in love with, but it fit a little bit better. It just made it a little bit more enclosed rather than being just right next to the door, which felt a little bit off. So yeah, I wanted this bathroom to feel very much like it was all of the kids kind of being in here, because for this first generation you have to have a minimum of 3 kids, and obviously all of your generations your heirs have to be a female named Barbie. So if we get 3 boys, we have to just keep having kids until we get a female, and until we give birth to a girl, so we can call her Barbie and she can be our heir. So the idea was that this bathroom will kind of serve the non-heirs, which could be sort of a minimum of 2 kids, maybe 3. But I liked the idea of it being kind of messy, but sort of lived in, not too messy. And I also really leaned heavily into this kind of aqua color scheme, which was a little bit of a hint to, a little bit of a reference to obviously Aqua, who recorded the song Barbie Girl, but it wasn't entirely intentional. I just thought of that right now. I'm really, really shit with cluttering. I'm really, really bad at cluttering. Sorry, excuse my French. I'm not great with clutter, so I really just kind of put plants in there. But with the master bathroom, I really, really liked the idea of having a his and her sink, but I wasn't sure if it was functional, so I did have my starter Barbie actually on the lot to kind of come and see if it was functional, but unfortunately it wasn't, so we had to get rid of the his and her sink, unfortunately, which was a shame, but it meant I could put in another plant and then it was functional. Then I realized that this bedroom over here was super far away from the family bathroom, so this was when I kind of thought, okay, maybe this would be the heir's bedroom. We'll kind of move the heir over here and they can have this pink Barbie bathroom. But like I say, literally copy and paste bathrooms. I do not have any originality when it comes to bathrooms. I just don't have any kind of original thought. I just don't really, they're not the most fun room to build, you know? So when it came to the kitchen, I again really leaned heavily into this aqua thing, and I really liked the idea of having the cooker in the kitchen island, but it just wasn't working for me. I didn't like how it turned out, so I did end up moving that to the wall that the fridge is now on, and then I moved the fridge to the back wall just to kind of give it more of an idea for the like a kind of like space it out a little bit more. And I wanted this to be like a big family kitchen because, like I say, Barbie in the first generation can't have a job, so and she has to have like max cooking skill and stuff like that. So I did change the cabinets a little bit to be white because they felt a little bit I've just realized that one in the back I kept as aqua though, so I feel like I might change all of the cabinets to white and just have the like island and the appliances be aqua, because it did feel like a little bit too much blue. But I really liked the idea of having like a coffee machine because of Ken. Obviously, he'll be going off and like working in like the business career, or I'm actually thinking the salary person career would be good. It felt very stereotypical. You also have to have at least one pet, so I've put a couple of pet bowls down there. I haven't actually put anything else for pets in here, so I haven't really figured out what I'm doing yet. Whilst I was trying to find clutter for the kitchen and stuff that I wanted to put in the kitchen, I was also finding things that I knew I wanted to put in other rooms, so you'll kind of notice I do that a couple more times where I just kind of get distracted and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go and put that in that room and I'm just going to go sort that out. But also the family recipe book, I just wanted it to feel very, very homey, very sort of, what's the word? Oh my god, my ADHD is kicking in. Just very lived in, very lived in. I like the idea of like having shoes that maybe the kids are just like left by the back door, which you'll see the outside, like the garden I made to be very kid friendly. But yeah, the master bedroom had to be super pink in my opinion, but once again, I'm so bad with clutter, especially in bedrooms, because I don't know what to put in there, and I just don't, I really struggle with it. So there's not a lot of clutter in this bedroom, but then I kind of thought, okay, maybe that's kind of the way that Barbie would want it. She'd want her bedroom to be a very clean space, a very clear space. Also, mirrors in this game. Why are mirrors so like weirdly high? It's so weird. Like you have to like do like a maneuver just to get the mirror to be in like a normal place. So yeah, I wanted it to be kind of like a cozy little space. I really like that chair. That chair felt very Barbie to me, very Barbie. So I put a little bookcase in here. The idea maybe she kind of chilled out to escape from the kids. And then, as with everything, my kind of go-to for clutter is just plants. I just put plants everywhere. Thank goodness you don't have to actually like water indoor plants in The Sims 4, or else my poor Sims would just be spending their life watering plants. I actually ended up going back to that vase because I couldn't find anything that I liked. Like there was nothing. Like I really struggle with clutter. So coming back to the living area, I liked the idea of this maybe having the vibe of an adult living area that had kind of been overrun with kids. So the idea was it was very much a case of this used to be a place where adults kind of just chilled out and like it was Barbie and Ken's safe place, and it was like very kind of, they used to host a lot and they used to have a lot of like cocktail parties and stuff, but then the kids have come along and they've kind of taken over the space. So I kind of tried to make it a little bit messy with the clutter here. Like I wanted the idea of maybe of like Barbie or Ken like sitting in that corner, maybe sort of reading a magazine, keeping an eye on the kids, and then just sort of like just having like a couple of bits there. So that's kind of their spot. I could not find a swatch of that baby, that infant thing that I actually liked. So eventually I just went with the lily pad one because that was the cutest one I could think of, but none of them fit with the color scheme, which was so annoying. Also trying to find like paintings. I felt like the walls were super bare, but my idea with putting a plant in this area, this one actually had a reason behind it. I wanted something here that would essentially be a placeholder for when you have the holiday tree, the Christmas tree, and then that would be where the Christmas tree would go. And then I had this big space and I wasn't sure what to do with it, and a piano felt like a really good fit because then the kids can get their creativity skill up. I mean, Barbie can play piano because once the kids go to school, she's going to have a lot of free time on her hands. And then I've also just realized that this kitchen table is not going to be big enough for them all because you have to have at least 3 kids and there's only 4 chairs. There'll be a minimum of 5 of them. So I'm going to need to add a couple of chairs to that. Here again, you can see me getting distracted, where I kind of wanted a bookcase in that area, but then that kind of distracted me, and I was like, oh, I want a bookcase, like a bookcase wall in the study. But then I couldn't get one that fit on that wall with the door. So I remembered that there was the bookcase with the ladder, which I was like, yes, I absolutely want that. But because I couldn't get it in that area, I had to move stuff around and move my accent wall to that back wall, which I don't hate because of the way that I set up the computer and stuff. So my idea is that this is kind of Ken's room, but it's very Barbie. It's very pink. It's pinks and whites, that kind of vibe. Because obviously Ken will actually be at work, whereas Barbie might actually be able to use this room a little bit more. I also popped an easel in here because Barbie can't have a job in the first legacy, in the first generation, but I thought maybe she can make some money painting and stuff, because once you're allowed to use cheats to get your first house, which is why I built this house essentially, so I wasn't just moving into a starter home, but then you're not allowed to use money cheats. So that's why I've built this house, and I'm hoping it can last us. And I built it so big with that basement and with like 3 bedrooms, and trying to make it as long lasting as possible so that it can last us a few generations. And yeah, we can like kind of keep going with it, and it's not just gonna last us this one generation. So at this point, I really like this plant light. This felt very cute. I wanted this entryway to feel, again, kind of cluttered, like a kind of space for, like, you'd go and sit and put your shoes on there, and then on the like the entryway table, it would have stuff that, you know, you've got your kind of kids crafts like shoved under there out the way, and then you've got like some tissues in case like you've just come in or you're just going out and one of your kids has got a runny nose. You know what it's like when you try and leave the house with kids and like everything is just going wrong. So I wanted that idea, and then I actually only just found the pillows, so I was like, oh, I definitely need a couple of them in the living room, and I feel like they really do just tie that whole living room together, just make it a little bit more homey. And then the axolotl, I thought it was like maybe like one of the kids made it, and I thought that would be kind of cute. Then in the hallway, again, I just wanted that kind of pop of color, so that rug was really, really useful for that. Moving on to the outside, I really wanted to have kind of a leveled garden because I never do stuff like that. Again, please do not judge my landscaping inability. I am really, really bad with outdoors and landscaping, so please don't judge me. But I like this idea of this quite manicured garden, but also like a little bit of chaos. So you'll see there's an area for gardening, there's a tree house for the kids, although that barely fits. And then there's like a food area with like a grill, because I like the idea of them having these like family barbecues. There's a pool, and then there's like a bar, because that bar from the Love Struck kit just feels so Barbie. The pink curved one, it's so Barbie, and so I knew that was what I wanted to really like lean into, that whole vibe. I also really like this little area around the side for the bins. I felt like it was a really nice little space, and it also meant that I could use the roof and just have it overhang, which was easier for me when I was trying to do that roofing, when it was really embarrassing. Again, I spent ages because I don't usually do split leveling in my builds. This was another one that took me absolutely ages. This was another area that took me ages to figure out. And again, also I liked the idea of like having this all covered with like a hedge, as you can see, but I eventually just went like this because this is just easier. Does this one really reminds me, this hedge really reminds me of the hedge, like the hedges in The Sims 2 that you have to get the gardener to come cut or else they become like really overgrown. But yeah, originally I wanted all of like the kids play stuff down there, but then I realized that this lot was actually way smaller than I originally thought, and so I decided to put to make the pool a little bit smaller and to put the like the more adult area down there and move the kids sort of to the other side. So you've got to kind of, where it clips a little bit, you've got to kind of use your imagination a little bit and imagine the roots growing like under the fence. But yeah, I really liked this little area here with that with the bar and the sun lounges. It felt very bougie. There is some more, obviously, there's some more kids stuff on this side as well, because to me, I just felt like Barbie would just want her kids like outside. She would just be like, just get outside, go and play. Again, kind of really leaning into that pink theme again, just really, really, really stereotypical Barbie. And then again, I liked this little like outdoor area, which is a bit more kind of grown up with like a fire pit. And then there's some like tables, and then there's actually a little lantern, like an outdoor lantern that has a pink bow on it, which I just felt was so Barbie coded. I couldn't not use it, so I had to use it, absolutely. I really struggled to find a table that I liked because I really wanted like a picnic table, but then it just didn't feel right to me, so I eventually went with this table, but I use it quite often in my builds. I use this table, so I was trying to use stuff that I don't always use, but if it fits, it fits, you know? So yeah, this was me just putting the last finishing touches to things, popping the bins out and then creating that little gardening area. So I like to do this idea of like having like a recycling bin and a regular bin. Again, gardening is a great way to earn money in The Sims, so I thought, again, if Barbie can't have a job, maybe she can maybe she can do some gardening and she can keep a nice garden, and I think that she would grow her own food as well. I think that would be quite in keeping with how she would kind of run her family. So this would be kind of like, that would be Barbie's space, the gardening area. Then the rest of this is just me doing the terrain paint, trying to make it a little bit more lived in. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you want to come watch the Legacy Challenge play out, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. The link is in the description. I'm sorry if I feel like it's a bit off with my like speaking and stuff, because words work well. I mean, I'm currently recording this commentary at like 9 o'clock at night, the day before I'm due to upload it, because it's been a really crazy week with work, so please just bear with me. And also, I haven't done a YouTube video in such a long time, and it's a really weird feeling, actually. Please also disregard how absolutely disgusting the state of my room looks at the moment. I am about to move in like 2 weeks, so most of my stuff is packed and everything else is just an absolute mess, but hopefully once I move, things will look a little bit better. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please give it a cheeky little like if you did enjoy it, and feel free to subscribe to follow along for more content. I plan on posting a ton of variety content, Sims, other stuff, whatever I'm really feeling like. I'm just kind of playing around with stuff at the moment and kind of finding my feet again as a content creator. So yeah, hope you have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you real soon. Bye!